have the Gale Force, you have the RP, a lot of control to just kind of hold everything in.
Keep things spicy. Go for the Beastmaster on the offlane, the 33 special.
They have played this on BZM before too, by the way.
Ooh, a lot of flexibility still being afforded by the Tundra draft. I think the only thing for certain is the fact that this silencer is probably going to be played by Whitemon. Other than that, we can't be entirely sure.
I'm pretty sure Sasha is the win ranger too. I think for Falcons though, they're probably keeping the draft open. I assume they want a last pick Amar hero here. Unless Marine has some like insane pick. Might see something like a Timbersaw come out. I think that looks pretty good against what Tundra has right now. The Magnus and the Beast Force kind of just melt to you. You have super high pace, a lot of damage to pour in. You get to play the pace you want with the Dazzle as well.
I'm not gonna lie though, I got a bit of PTSD from Malween Timbersaw. The one game that we saw it come out, it really didn't look too hot.
You're right, but they do have 24 pick this time, so I think it's not the worst. Banning out the monkey, so maybe it's just a Sanking mid. We'll see.
Okay, so you were talking about the strength of this 18th pick, and we were hypothesizing, okay, PA could be great here. Of course, it doesn't make it all the way there. What kind of makes this a good Beastmaster game? Whether it's 33, whether it's BZM, why spend the 18th pick on this hero?
Okay, I think the biggest thing about the Beast here is that there's no rotator that comes to your lane and like kind of chases you out. Like, if you look at Falcon's heroes, like this tanking before Dagger, he's not really able to get to the Beast. Other than that, I think the lane is pretty okay. I think 33 does generally a good job of just finding out how to figure out and win the lane anyway. I think the only concern for me is that Falcons actually has a lot of stack stealing power. If this Brittle or tanking like walks into your jungle at like 7 minutes, I don't think you can actually contest them from taking away your ancients.
I guess that does come down to the mid and who it ends up being, right? If it is a pause 1 Magnus, which still could be the case, we did talk about Crystallis playing that, and you're talking about Beastmaster on the offlane, it really comes down to the Malrine or BZM hero, whether they can be the sort of bastion in front of the rest of the team, pushing you away. I mean, technically you could say the same for Tundra as well, right? If the Beastmaster makes his way somehow to your triangle, you could make quick work of these stacks as well.
They're banning for a Sanking. Okay, so I think as flexible as this looks, I think Falcon value comfort a lot. So I think this is going to be Amar Bristle and Malrine Sanking, and they're just going to pick a Skitter hero. I feel like that's exactly what they want. Something to counter the beast, and I think Tundra realized that as well, which is why they banned the gyro, right? Like, we picked this 18 beast, we got 2 bans for it, let's commit. Let's not give them a free whatever they want to play. This Dazzle plus 1 lane can be pretty strong. Let's ban for the Beastmaster.
Okay. See whether that ends up working out for them here. Also, a little tidbit that I just wanted to share. Of course, you guys can't see lobby chat, so you're missing out on some juice, but I presume this was set in the earlier phases of the draft before the Dazzle was picked. Amar all chatted, BZM Dazzle, do it, in all chat. Of course, Tundra didn't fall for that bait, but yeah, maybe just something that BZM isn't really the most comfortable on. Tundra, they'll go for that Storm Spirit, another signature, allows them to set the tempo, and the draft is starting to come together now. It's very clear who is playing what. And out the Huskar so that there's no bully for the Storm. What other options do you have? Is it just going to be this Malwin tanking mid?
It's going to be an Alchemist for Skitter, maybe? I feel like they have so much pace, they have so much minus armor too. It looks pretty cool with their heroes, right? Because Skitter's control. You also have the Grave to play around. It's a hero that doesn't care about Wind Ranger or Silencer too much. Go for Mars. Okay, you have a Skitter Bristle voice.
Okay, a little bit of a switch up there, Skeeter Bristle. Haven't really seen this pause 1 Bristleback run by about anyone, if I'm being honest. And Amar, he's feeling confident that he can win the lane up against his buddy Crystallis with his signature Mars. I mean, I will say that this crit Clinks, Mars, Amar, it makes a lot more sense. This was the game that they sort of picked the Clinks as well. They picked it with the Amar Mars, and he kind of plays a bit more of a setup teamfight role, while Crit kind of scales up to be that damage dealer, takes a lot of the farm and priority. It will be a position 5 Dazzle though. How are you liking the drafts as the draft settles? Which team are you sort of preferring here going into game number 2?
I'm a fan of Falcon's draft right now. I feel like they have pace. I feel like they have teamfight. They are so fast with their heroes. This Bristle Dazzle lane is pretty damn strong. You have Ghoul, Poison Touch, Rundown. The Quill Spray like kind of keeps you thinking. It's a pretty damn hard lane to play against. But I expect Tundra to do pretty okay. I also think this is a pretty sick Storm game, so a bit biased to Falcons right now just because I think their heroes look super cool. It looks like great strategy, you know, with like zoom minus armor, we get Roche, we get our stacks, everything is just go. But I think Tundra has Storm Silencer. You know how it is, right?
They
It's just
do,
a
I do
free
know how
fight.
it is.
It's a free fight, and GTM has been kind of cooking on this ball lately.
Yeah, doesn't seem to be a mid matchup that he really gets hammered on that badly. Tundra looked amazing in this tournament, looked amazing in that game number 1. Now into our playoffs, a 2-0 here would put them in a very good position in the upper bracket. Now keep in mind, folks, this is double elimination. So it's not like those Swiss stage games that you saw Falcons in, one game away means elimination. They still will have a second chance here to try and pick up the pieces tomorrow, if that's where they end up in the lower bracket. But of course, both these teams, they want to move forward, they want to get comfy, they want to situate themselves with that second chance for as long as possible. I mean, I kind of like the Falcons draft as well. We haven't really seen this Bristleback 1, but maybe this fits in a bit more with what Falcons want to do, right? That early pressure, Amar can sort of be this big boss on his signature hero. I'm kind of feeling it, and I'm sure the fans want this as well. We want a Game 3. These two teams are amazing at Dota 2, and this is perhaps one of the best games that you can watch in this entire week, this entire tournament. We'll see how it all plays out as we have game number 2 ready for you. Up on your screens very shortly, folks. See whether Tundra and the gang can take down Falcons. And you look at the score, technically speaking, coming into this matchup, you probably have to favor you probably have to favor Tundra, right? The fact that they were able to trio their group stage even with a stand-in, and then now Whitemon's back. It's like he never left. It's almost better that he took a little bit of a break, came back just to show everybody how good he really is.
Yeah, I feel like Tundra's the favored matchup against almost every team in the tournament, though, right? At most, you give them like a 50-50. I do want to talk about the last part of the draft. I feel like they're banning heroes to protect the Beast Master. Brittle is actually one of the better heroes against Beast in lane. It's actually super good. I know it's a bit unorthodox to see it on Skirrer instead of Amar, but it does fill the criteria and it does kind of cover base of what Tundra was banning for here. Protecting the Beast, and now 33, I don't know how this lane is going to go, but I feel like you can't really rely on stacking because Bristol, he's going to win his lane, and he has the ability to come into you. I feel like that's going to be something that's pretty scary early on, like this tanking and Bristol kind of collapsing on your triangle. With a Dazzle Grave behind, I'm not sure if Tundra actually has the ability to deal with this.
I'm not too familiar with what the preference is when it comes to this support Dazzle. He's gone for the overhealing shield one instead.
I think will be traded. Back to your point, the engulfing stab, it's pretty short range against the Skirrer, so I also assume it's hard to run crit down realistically. You kind of need a blood grenade and a shockwave and a minus to probably have boots to get up to him.
Yeah, you basically need to full commit because, right? He gets bonus health as well. It's really not easy to. Good job keeping himself in a very, very annoying position right now. Quiet early game. Everyone just kind of farming up. Real person suffering seems to be Skeeter here on this position 1 Bristleback. Despite us worrying that this Dazzle Bristleback lane would be extremely oppressive for 33, he seemed to be able to come out on top at least momentarily.
I mean, this 3-3 beast is just signature. Is what won him his first TI. It's just he's the equivalent of the Crystallis Monkey King, I want to say. His understanding of this hero is just so good. He knows how to get past every lane he faces. I've never seen him have a bad lane before, actually.
Falcons hoping to change your mind a little bit, but not really working out for them for now. Early laning stage. I mean, you talk about the pace that Falcons have. Are they necessarily looking to get some of these kills on the side lanes? Is that something that is a factor for them, or are they just happy trading farm?
I think they're pretty happy. It's a bit hard to kill. He has a TP if he really needs to, though. I feel like for Tundra, it's just about stacking, right?
Oh, what are you doing here? Looking at the Bristleback, I'm going to show you that's not the right target. You want to return a lot of damage.
It's really just all about stacking, right? For Tundra, I feel like they want to go long as possible.
Oh damn! Quite more.
Do the dead.
Oh, he salved for that. I think that actually made the difference. Survives with just about 13 HP. Meanwhile, bot lane being run down. It's snaking. Getting drawn on here, and the TP out with a beautiful shackle, preventing the damage. It's not like Skeeter had any mana to work with anyway. Great plays coming out from Tundra, getting themselves on the ball. That'll be first blood.
Yeah, now top lane. Whitemon's gonna finally get his first pull. Lane stage looking real good for Tundra right now. This Bristleback on Skirrer not really doing its purpose, it feels like. getting first blood there is pretty big.
I mean, the Dazzle is just such an easy target, especially once he uses his Poison Touch. That's got to be a big green light for the Tundra fellows as soon as they see that spell come out. If they can kite it out, not much the Drizzleback can do in Dazzle's defense.
He's jungling, what the hell?
Okay.
As the stacks up, he's like, okay, enjoy your lane, Saksa. Efficiency at 5 minutes, sure, no problem, baby.
Yeah, I mean, they're not going to try and contest up here. Meanwhile, top lane, Crystallis looking for potential skewer back, but just happy with constantly shoving the wave into Amar. You don't want to sort of be on the receiving end of any kill threat. Doing a good job keeping them at bay. Yeah, 33, he's already min-maxing up here. Giving Saksa the free space. He knows that as long as Saksa plays carefully, there's no way that Skeeter and Sneaking can actually run him down. This is hyper efficiency at its finest. Top lane. Onto Amar again, the setup. It's a bit further behind. Amar taking quite a bit of damage here. Use the one charges, but no further chase from Tundra.
It's okay, just lock the report into him. They will have to fight for the Lotus soon though.
Yeah. Can't imagine Crit sticks around for this one. Amar is way too low to offer a helping hand. Raksa did come mid to try and contest this regen room. Now Reen will be the one to snap it up. He'll just take a quick glance in the triangle. Okay, any stacks? Doesn't seem like any at the moment. All the stacks are on the right side. 33 busy farming them up.
He's been sending his boards over to do a little work. We'll clear it up now. So bot lane just pushing in, right? The wave was in a weird spot after he TP'd because the quick wave met at the back. So Treasure just decides like, okay, I'm not coming back. It's fine. Still doing really well in the net worth.
You did say that both teams are pretty happy trading farm. I don't know whether this is a good trade though. You're basically getting solo EXP on your Wind Ranger. He still has the time of day to go mid and contest your room. Storm Spirit's top of the net worth. Magnus is having a chill old time in the top lane. At Tundra, it feels like they're getting everything they want out of this early game, and Falcons not really sure what the move is supposed to be to try and stop them.
I'm not sure either. It feels like they had to do more in the laning phase, but right now all they can kind of do is sit back, maybe get some blink triggers, play for a runes Marine. Unfortunately, he gets the regen rune, so not the most active of runes. See what I can do once Tanking gets this blink there. Stack up, you know. Sure, Tundra's farming it up, but you can do the same there. You have Bristle, you have Tanking, your heroes that are very easy to kind of catch up and just have that burst of net worth. Amar, I think the whole reason they picked this Marzus was to just kind of protect areas, right? Against what Tundra has. You want to just commit for kills. It's also control with his clings. We might see an egg or something for crit later on. Not sure what he itemizes on this. I've only ever seen the Bloodthorn.
Bloodthorn, big, long damage potential. Not really sure how good the Burning Army is. I haven't really seen it out that much.
It's alright. You know, crit buys a crit stick, does he say it's my stick?
Yeah, absolutely. Keep that thing on him. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my god, they have
Reason.
play against Crystallis.
Yeah. That's his big bro right there. He can't stack up. I mean, he's trying to now with his clings. I'll keep an eye out for that matchup.
Why does this so cute?
What is this? What does this mean? I mean, it's kind of rich because Amar, he's not necessarily winning the lane either, but you can see on the player cams that, you know, Crystallis is trying to cook up a funny response. They're just laughing, they're just having a good time.
Oh my god, these good vibes. I love this.
Yeah. I mean, there's rivalries, you know. White Mon with the all chat, he's trying to get a kick in as well.
I love friendly banter.
Yeah. Nice to see. Yeah, at the end of the day, you know all 10 players in this server have such immense respect for each other. Not easy to stay on top for so long. Falcons, they've done it with this roster for such a long time and continuing to work. I mean, it's just kind of like a relationship, right? Like, regardless of what happens, you still kind of need to tough through it. Some people choose the easy way out. Some people look for greener pastures, you know. Not working, we don't want to try anymore. Falcons, they have every reason to believe that they can climb back to that former glory. I would say former glory as if it wasn't just like 1 or 2 months ago. It's only recently that these problems have really started to surface a bit more.
Yeah, again, just a team that is kind of hit by the patch right this time around. You can see them trying to figure it out. They've been kind of experimenting a little bit with the way they play and the heroes. deviation from the usual methodical Falcon style, but I respect it, you know. I think it's part of the process. I think they're all good enough to just kind of figure it out. Maybe it'll take a bit longer time, but I wouldn't be surprised to see Falcon in top form in like a month or two. Maybe win this game, you know, who knows.
This could be the third round for them. There's just been little playoffs that Aoi pushes up his glasses, says, all right, showtime, boys. Let's see. We say all this about Falcons as if the team they're against is less on accolades by any stretch. These guys, such insane players on both sides here. Doing a good job forcing away the side of Tundra. You did talk about this. Malrine, if Bristle comes into the side of your jungle, what can you do? He's gonna set up a sandstorm here. That means it's a no-fly zone. Tundra, uncontest. Malrine will wind up the epicenter, just kind of faking it a bit, and steals away the Shrine of Wisdom. Very, very nice rotation here from Falcons. No violence needed. Just taking away some EXP. Just chill, guys.
Yeah, it was very good of Tundra to not contest there. I think it was like way too hard. Falcons, they just have a draft that's really good for this. You can't even comment on the tanking because epicenter will come out as wave as well. Not really able to fight into this right now. So Falcons, small win. Still behind in terms of gold though. BZM the big winner from this laning phase, and I didn't talk about this, but the reason that Storm is so good this game is not only that it's global, but against tanking your lane is kind of free as fuck.
Yeah, I mean, Storm usually needs a lot more resistance. His center here onto White Mon. Oh, might not be DDoSing him, but they're absolutely killing him. This mid lane, very, very difficult for this silencer to survive. Just trying to contest the rune. Just coming in with BZM and Saksa. A two-man barrel strike. Malrine's got a big stick. You can't challenge him here, especially not with crit in the area. Ace Rune in the top lane. Try and zip to steal it. BZM will snag that one right from under. Draw out. All commitment of heroes in the mid lane. Looking for Skeeter here. White Mon gonna TP back in post-death. Trying to get the damage. And he's taking so much. As a return though, Skeeter gets that kill before going down. That is 3 members to kill your carry Bristleback. It costs you your Beastmaster. Don't think Falcons are too sad about that.
I think that's so worth. Like 33 died after too, so it's not so bad. He had a big stick and Lotus on. I expected maybe it would have been close, but good EXP, you know. That's a core kill. You lost both shrines, so both of the support gain levels is pretty nice for a Tundra here.
Sure. I mean, they definitely need it after that Wisdom Rune being stolen and yoinked away from them. So what exactly is the timing here, you reckon, for Tundra? Because you were saying that Falcons have such a nice pace, and we're seeing them hit some of those tries already. It's difficult for them to contest Malrine, kind of getting harder for them to run up into the Bristleback. What exactly will Tundra be playing for or waiting for?
I think they're pretty happy just to engage. BZM's gonna make a move though.
I don't know whether this is possible. They'll try and make the goal onto Amar, but this is a man with 2 bracers and a ton of HP. A great placed arena as well means that they don't want to waste any more mana to try and chase him down, and they'll just give up on the chase. Outmaneuver them a little bit here, and they're not done. Marine's gonna come out to this top lane. Look for the punish onto Crystallis, but similarly, this Magnus also pretty tanky. 12-1 charges in his pocket. Nothing really found, just both teams poking at each other.
Making a bit of damage here. They're still looking at Amar. Falcons is coming in. Chris gonna get vision here.
I mean, they don't care about White Mon. They want the bigger kill. They want to slay Crystallis. They will bring him down. Nice setup there from Crit. Falcons, they show up in force. This was the target that they were looking for from the get-go anyway, so Ma using the arena defensively but not impacting his kill threat.
Check the farming. BZM has a... Is that a Mage Slayer? He has a Mage Slayer queued up. I guess tanking Bristle and Mars is actually a pretty damn good item, right? Gives you mana regen too.
Wow. I've never seen a Storm do that. Meanwhile, I've seen a Storm do this though. A nice few bits of galvanized charges. This gank is gonna work out this time.
I remember how I spoke about like it's a good beast game because there's no one to really like run at him and grief him.
Sure.
Storm's pretty good at griefing Mars. See BZM constantly in the top jungle, you know, he's like, okay Amar, you wanna come up? I'm gonna play here, and Crystal is just able to hold his ground because of this. His tower is hard to pressure, and I think the nice thing about Magnus that I've been watching Crystallize is he buys this Master of Death first, and he just goes to the Ancient Camp every time.
Upgraded already. I think in the early phases of this patch, especially with Wandering Waters first hitting, everyone was still trying to play around their creep camps, right? You no longer have those easy or small camps to rely on as a carry in your safe lane. You need to pick these heroes that can clear the stacks easily. Speaking of stacks, Malrine heading back to a pretty thick one. Closing in on that Blink Dagger, should have it in just about 150 gold, 50 gold. That's where we'll maybe see a few more moves coming out. But yeah, this is a really cool build-up from BZM. How often do you see Mage Slayer first Storm? These two teams are cooking here.
Tundra, just one of the more innovative teams I think when it comes to buying these items. They understand what timings to play for. Speaking of timings, Malrine has the Blink Dagger flying out.
All about the runes. Illusion snagged up by Malrine. That's the setup. Crit with the damage. BZM low on mana. Has Whitemon to back him up, but this is a very tough position for Tundra to stick around in. Again, seeing the power of the Falcons lineup. Second they show up in numbers, you can't stand up to them. At least not yet.
This is a dagger reveal though, Malrine. He shows the Blink Dagger. Blatant daylight. Maybe not carrying so much because he's going to get the tower anyway. He needs a smoke from Falcons for him towards the top lane.
This has to be the most obvious move in the world, right, Crystallis? There's no way he sticks around here. How many times have we seen carries just caught out this segment of the map?
Pretty sure he just cast through Custom. He's sticking
okay.
around.
You know what? I'll just start writing my apology letter. You can cover this one. Let me just whip a pen out. This is the most dead person I've seen in my life. My goodness. Sorry about that. Yeah, I'll issue Tundra, you can issue me an invoice. Sorry, that was my bad.
What's the saddest thing about the dive point? The tower was 2 hits away from a deny, and Crystallis did not deny. Amar just walks up and gets the tower through. So not only a kill, the tower is suddenly 2k gold. There was lead for Falcon. Haste is coming. Skeeter quietly, suddenly. Top net worth. I assume there have been stacks in the bottom ancient, probably by snaking away.
I'm sure. One thing about Falcons, they are not gonna forget to stack. That's been hallmark of their gameplay for what feels like the better half of their dominance. No reason to change it up now. Andra, they are still trying to keep up in their own way, right? It's not like Crystallis is that far behind. The Magnus always has its own way of farming back up, especially with the Eternal Empowerment. Just like you said, it's difficult for them to really put up any sort of a fight, especially with the items coming out, like the Blink Dagger, like the jump. You don't even need items on the Dazzle for the projection to still catch you off guard. So do just that. Good timing here. You don't manage to make it to the Wisdom Rune to contest that, but still, this is a lot of space on the map being opened up by Falcons.
I thought he was spearing some like Invis hero or something, just trying to farm a little. I was like, what was that? I think it's really nice that they went for a kill, right? They understood that one hero would definitely be parked at their shrine, so not really trying to contest, but just taking the freebies they can, and this will allow them to start invading into T3's area of farm. Malrine already cooking up some ancients here.
Stealing away some of their ancients.
With the who DDoS me. Can I get a Amar Crystallis conversation round 2?
Yeah. Bring the chat back up, boys. Well,
too fast, guys. Too soon.
It always starts with Amar. Amar is a big instigator. You know, he likes to sort of just pepper in some comments. It is ready, but hopefully Whitemon is as well. No issues on both sides. Fingers crossed. But yeah, the early game, again, this is exactly towards our expectations. You still need to wait for your beast. You still got a little while before Crystallis feels comfortable taking part in some of these engagements. BZM alone can't really get it done. So, nothing but farming, nothing but watching the gold lead grow little by little for Falcons.
33 has his axe now as soon as he gets to base, and you know what time it is, Mike? 15 minutes soon.
Alright.
Global silence is up. T3 has agony. So I wonder if Tundra is gonna look for an angle to fight this Tormentor. They might just run into Malrine instead though.
Oh, this is a little bit awkward. Snaking placed the sentry, but he did not see the ward planted by Tundra. This could be a very scary wraparound move, especially if they find Malrine. Jump in first, global silence to catch. This is the timing that they were waiting for. Focus down the dazzle so there's no save coming out. The grave can't come through. Now they're looking at the Sand King. BZM, he's in rather deep though. Can the rest of the team follow up? Executed by Saksa. BZM is a little bit far forward. He's gonna start getting run down by Skeeter, but no cancels on the TP. Note the two disabled, and Amar couldn't make it to this fight in time. Rest of Tundra still sticking around. Mark the forfeit. Whitemon, the damage from crit, it's too much. Great 2 for 1. Global silence used. No one around the Tormentor just yet.
33 still in the area though. They don't know about this Aghanim Scepter.
They don't. Surely they have some sort of cool Crystalist trying to bait in his counterpart here. They see the Shadow wave coming in from the tree line, so they know the Dazzle's back already. Looks like they're just gonna evacuate. Are they really just giving this one up?
Yeah, it looks like it. I think they can't contest without global. There's just no way, right? Amar with Arena still up. Very too strong, but we still have that piece. Looks like the right choice from Tundra here. Suffer is gonna look for a snipe though. Overshot.
Okay, no one was really close to dying there. Yeah, that's a little bit too disgusting. Now Snake King is going to get that nice little amp. Of course, both supports, their shots are pretty nice. You can get the Burning Barrage just to amplify your single target kill threat on crit, but this little bit of sustain is nifty as well, given the EHP on Skeeter, who'll be very happily on that front line looking at the SNY. Falcons continuing to push the issue here while they're strong. They're dealing the advantage in their favor. It's 5k right now. They know that Tundra can't really contest without that global, like you mentioned.
He's going to continue to occupy this bottom side of the map. Try to take away the triangle from Tundra. Skeeter. That's what he's trying to do. Tundra, it feels like there's just no real way to take this team fight without global right now. Even though they're strong, even though they're ahead in net worth, they're just not at their timing really.
Usually there'd be a lot more to follow along to, but don't worry, you're not going to miss any of the action. As long as you stay right here, press exclamation mark F in the chat, or scroll down to the banner, click the link. You'll be able to follow all of Fissure's amazing social media channels. Keep track of all the exciting esports that they're putting on, not just Dota tournaments, which there are many, so you're not going to be missing a thing. They have voluntarily missed out on a lot of this early game, and can't help but feel like that's the only option for them.
No, I'm looking at his Mage Slayer on Storm, and part of me wants to think it's like, it's so good against what Falcons has, right? But at the same time, I can't help but feel like he is so enabled by this global silence that I want to see the way to... Like we saw the fight bottom, right? Like he took quite a while to kill off Marine. I think with the Witchblade, things would have been so different. I guess it's just a more balance in a build. Like he's able to push out waves a bit more, not really fear death is compared to what he would be scared of with the Witchblade.
It's just a safer option. Safety first, kids. Speaking of safety, Malrine going for a Glimmer Cape on the Sand King. Good thing for a hero with his own way of getting invisible, it wouldn't be too much of a concern, but this goes to show how valuable this item is. You mentioned how long Malrine took to kill, he's just gonna get tanky.
That's the
Now into the Roche they go.